Sir, 4 days to arrest someone allegedly quite clearly visible on CCTV. This is the high-profile crash case. Is that normal policing or is it avoidable delay? And I'm asking you this because the court denied the 14-day remand and granted bail on a 20,000 rupee bond for a 10 crore rupee car. From a policing perspective, what could have led to remand being refused? Does weak case documentation come into the play here?
Weak case documentation does not come into play as far as this particular case is concerned and the remand is concerned. The 10 crore car and having a commensurate punishment, I don't think that works out in law. That is not as per the legal provisions of this country. I will just break up the whole case so that it becomes very, very clear for the audience. So first is that unknown accused. So unknown accused should not have been there because there is CCTV footage and the like. And in case of the unknown accused, so they were trying to plant one Mr. Mohan, who the court did not accept, and police fought tooth and nail with all the documentation at their command, that is CCTV, circumstantial evidence and the like. And they were able to prove it to the court that Shivam was on the wheels and not anybody else. So that's point number two. And they have been very, very clear from the second day itself that it is Shivam and nobody else, and that is how 5 teams were made. Now, there is no denying the fact that 4 days elapsed. And there is absolutely no rocket science which is required to prove that from Kanpur to Delhi and back, there are any number of enough evidences which would be available and they could have cracked the case, and they need not wait, or they shouldn't have waited for him to come back to Kanpur. So that's the third point. When you're talking about the alcohol part of it, there is no denying the fact, as per the standard operating procedure, this fellow should have been taken for medical examination, which was being done, I think, yesterday instead of that particular.
No, you're absolutely right, Officer Sai. You've made credible and pertinent points. All three of those points are very credible and pertinent. I'm trying to understand, and News9 in no way wants to put you in a tough spot, but we must ask: is it common?
No problem.
Is it common for influential people who have power, who have privilege, to get procedural advantages because, well, investigators hesitate because of who Shivam was and where Shivam came from?
See, it depends on the investigator. There is also no denying the fact that the influence also plays a role. But the point is, it depends on the officer, and officer can take a call. And there are tons and tons of officers who have been arresting these people left, right, and sundry, and for variety of cases in variety of ways, and they are even being convicted. But it's a general impression all around the place that the rich and the mighty and the influential. There is also another issue, that while the case gets charge sheeted, might be they charge sheet the case in another 3-4 days' time, and the case goes on for the judicial trial for another 3-4 years, then who is to be blamed? So we were talking about the medical examination part of it. Now the medical examination should have happened, but that it has not happened, for which one SHO has already paid for his job and he has been placed under suspension for and the other thing. Now the issue is the Shivam's being on the steering wheel is proven, and that is the most critical part. Now you're talking about 4 days left. There is no denying.
But is it really critical, sir? Is it really critical? I mean, the man is still again out. The man is still again out, officer.
No, I'll come to that. Now, all the case charges or the sections involved are bailable offences. And bailable offences with punishment less than 7 years, and no judicial officer can go beyond the law of the land. Now, that being the case, there are only two considerations in which bail can be rejected. When there is likelihood of this person to flee or to tamper with the evidence. Now, these two conditions in the judgment of the judicial officer, he did not find any reason primarily.
Officer, you spoke about tampering of evidence. Right at the accident spot, there's a fresh video that's out that the bouncers tried to remove the number plate of the car itself. Is that not obstruction of justice? And that is tampering of evidence.